What do cornflakes, cellophane, penicillin, Velcro and post-it notes have in common? They may not seem an obvious link, however these seemingly unconnected things were all the result of mistakes. It just goes to show how valuable errors can be. No one enjoys making mistakes. From an early age we pick up that errors are to be avoided and if committed, concealed. By adulthood, we are adept at covering our tracks or concocting reasons to deflect the consequences of an error. This instinctive response to mistakes is founded on a mindset that views them as likely to lead to unpleasant outcomes. Whilst mistakes are inevitable and can be costly, they provide some of the most powerful experiences from which we can learn. Our view of mistakes has a far-reaching impact. This is illustrated by Chris Argyris in his single double loop learning theory. Single loop learning marks a repeated failure at something fueled by a denial of the outcome. It's underpinned by a propensity to maintain control and to maximise wins and minimise losses. As we suppress our negative feelings and deny ownership of the mistake and issue, we wave goodbye to any learning opportunity. By contrast, double loop learning takes a broader view of a mistake. It rejects our defensive programming to allow us to question flawed assumptions and processes that underpin our error. Being open-minded creates a springboard for new learning opportunities. However, the harnessing of mistakes for learning in organisations is very rare. Staff frequently deny, distort or dissociate themselves from mistakes because of the stigma associated with failure and the performance or capability procedures that are seen to penalise genuine errors. Now it's true, some mistakes have serious outcomes which cannot be ignored. Sometimes embracing an error for learning may have a safety or a commercial or a reputational implication. However, often the risks is far outweighed by the value of development it offers, and that's how most of us mastered riding a bike, with the odd scraped knee. To harness mistakes for learning, we need to minimise risks and look to lever errors that have relatively low danger but very high benefits. That demands a culture where experimentation and failure are welcomed for learning and performance improvement. To develop such a culture, we need a change in organisational mindset and behaviour. In my book, Driving Performance Through Learning, I explore practical ways to support, encourage mistake-based learning. Here are the headlines. First, destigmatise and celebrate failures. Making failure acceptable makes us more open and creative. It's only when we can communicate that it's okay to make mistakes, that we've all done so and will do so in the future, that we provide the foundation for very rich learning. Second, make room for reflection. Reflection is not only about recognising an error, but gaining a deep understanding of why the mistake was made and how we can change our approach next time. Reflective practice is at the heart of professional development, but so often it's overlooked. There are a number of models that underpin reflective practice. One that's simple and really useful was developed by John Driscoll for reflective practice amongst healthcare professionals. It's a practical approach which frames reflection around three simple questions. Ask what. This reviews or defines the exact nature of what took place. Ask so what. This encourages thinking around our reaction and our feelings. Then ask now what. This helps us unpack the implications and the application in our context and what we might do differently if we encountered the circumstance again. Third, embrace a fail fast, learn quick approach. This tactic is inherent in agile project methodologies levered by some of the most successful organisations. Experimentation is a proven route to drive learning, which is squandered by those with an overcautious, perfectionist tendencies. Fourth, create simulations. Some learning situations are unforgiving and mistakes really matter, so simulations are an excellent way to enable staff to evaluate implications of errors in a safe operational environment. The use of work-based scenarios can enable employees to consider different approaches. And virtual reality now provides realistic, immersive environments which can be explored and which are useful where some of the implications of mistakes are high, for example, in safety or customer service environments. Fifth, leverage lessons learned. Why do organisations often trip over the same issues? It's quite simple. Lessons learned aren't shared and embedded in work. Communities of practice provide ideal environments where mistake-based learning can be shared and practical applications made. Kitsuji is the Japanese art of golden repairs, in which broken pottery is mended with lacquer mixed with powdered gold, silver or platinum. It's a philosophy that celebrates breakage and repair as part of the valuable history of an object, rather than something to disguise. It's time that we had a similar attitude to mistakes within organisations and recognise the golden learning and performance improvement opportunities that mistakes present.